Welcome to the vlog and the channel. We are in sunny Marco Island, Florida, our special paradise. I've been coming here my entire life. It's time to kick off an awesome action-packed weekend. We're doing an entire week full of Florida vacation activities, including gators. Yep, we're seeing gators. We're gonna maybe spot some sharks, and we're gonna enjoy life in paradise. Come along for the ride. After a travel detour took us through Nashville, Tennessee, we got some hot chicken and party fowl and made it in time for a holiday tradition. Good morning from paradise. It's Easter Sunday morning, and this is a really cool tradition you can see at the end of the beach there. Look at that. They do Easter Sunday service down on the beach. I think we're gonna go check that out. All right, I made it all the way down to the end at Tiger Tail Beach here. You can see all the way to the left there. It's probably about 2-3 miles to the tip of Marco Island's South Beach. Just doing some seashell finding here on Easter Sunday. Right on cue, the Easter Bunny stopped me dead in my tracks on a jet ski. That's the most Marco Island thing you could possibly imagine. Now it's time for another beach afternoon into an evening and time to break down the best sunsets. All right, so here's a little breakdown on the Marco Island sunsets. They're completely undefeated, and they're a dime a dozen, but they're not all created equal. This could be what I refer to as a clean drop, meaning that sun's gonna cleanly drop right below the horizon in a few minutes. You could see some of those clouds were blocking the way and being potential threats to that clean drop, but I think we might have a good one here. Day 2 is already covered in our first YouTube full vlog. Be sure to subscribe and check out the channel where we saw gators, we held a gator, and we tried a gator. Time to taste the gator, step 3 of 3. They say it tastes just like chicken. View just never gets old here on Marco Island. Look at this full panorama of the beach. Another beautiful day in paradise. There we go. We're on the board. Center screen. It's always tricky to find these guys, but the mornings are usually the best time. Yeah, that guy on the camera there has got it completely locked in. He knows what to do. All right, this is the southern tip of South Beach on Marco Island, Florida here, and you can see all the way to Tiger Tail at the end there is about 3.5-4 miles. Kind of a gloomier, overcast day, but definitely a great day to get some shells and see if we can spot some dolphins. The mornings and afternoons and evenings all seem to blend together, but they're equally as beautiful on Marco Island. There's an egret bird walking along the shores. And after another beautiful sunset, I'm going to remind you to subscribe if you're enjoying this time in paradise. It's time for a dessert review. This is key lime pie flavored gelato right here. Take a look at that. Sunrise over Marco Island Beach. Look at that. That's right, it was finally the day where we get to see some live shark fishing. Nope, not fish like that, way bigger. This is a really cool thing that a father and daughter apparently do at the end of Marco Beach here. This is by Tiger Tail. Look at these awesome cow-themed designs that they do right here. There's a whole row of them. They've got catchphrases and stuff like that. Adorable. Ha. That's cute. All right, next one. Easter shell hunt. Love that. It's so cool. Something you definitely got to check out if you get here to the end of Tiger Tail Beach. People actually take shells and they tie them. See, there's a couple that did that right there. It was the end of day 5, and on Thursday night, it was time to watch the Marco Island Sharks in action. Step 1 here was using that drone to get and set the bait out in the water. All right, so now the drone is going all the way out onto the water, specifically there, and it's that light off in the distance. And it's gonna drop the beginning of the bait for where the sharks are gonna start trailing back towards the shore. Once the lights lowered on these gigantic rods, you could see it was all shoulders and arms to push and push and push and reel as these sharks got closer to shore. The momentum and the excitement only got more palpable.
Families, look at all these kids!
Look at this little guy. I think this is like a crab of some sort. Whoa, really cool design. Check out this guy with the underwater metal detector. That's some serious commitment on the beach right there. After one last full day on the beach, it was time to head to the Esplanade for my favorite drink on the island. Those are the coladas, and specifically the mango and strawberry colada from CJ's. And there it is, the final sunset of the trip, which eventually rolls into the final sunrise on Marco Island. The early morning walkers were out getting their steps, and it was an opportunity for me to take one more walk down to the beach to see what I could find and tally up the shell haul. All right, early, sunburnt, fully red morning, final morning, last walk, last chance for a few good shells before we get on a plane and head home. So we'll see what we can find here on the beach, and we're going to enjoy a few more hours to get that tan right, because we got some spots to cover up for sure. See, this is an example of a shell you don't want to take, because you can literally see the concluding right there. Wow. All right, here's the final report on our shell haul here. We always comb the beach for whatever we can. And here's a quick little look at some of the more unique shells that we've got in this trip. Kind of a mixed bag here. You can see we got some of the smaller ones on the left, bigger ones on the right, but I love these big, you know, saucer serving size shells. Look at the size of these things. It's amazing what you can find on the beach. All right, last words from Marco Island, Florida. That's a wrap on Paradise. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that subscribe button down low. We appreciate you watching all of our adventures.
And a comb over.